Day 85. Joshua chapter 12, 13, 14 and 15. Welcome to today's Scripture Whispers. If you've ever felt like parts of your life are just lists, routine, or even insignificant, this message is for you. Let's begin as we open with what looks like a long list of defeated kings. Name after name, territory after territory. At first glance it feels repetitive, but here's the hidden lesson. God documents victories. Every battle Israel fought, every struggle, every risk, God recorded it. It may feel like no one sees your effort, your prayers feel unnoticed, your growth feels slow, but this is a reminder that God keeps a record of obedience, not just outcomes. That quiet discipline, that decision to do right, that sacrifice no one applauded, He sees it, He counts it. Nothing is wasted in God's hands. Then we encounter another whisper, where the Israelites did not drive out the people of Gesher-Mahah, they continued to live among them. God had instructed them to fully take possession of the land. But they stopped halfway. And that decision had long-term consequences. Partial obedience creates permanent problems. What you tolerate today may trouble you tomorrow. That habit you excuse. That compromise you justify. That delay in obedience, it may seem small now, but it lingers. Incomplete obedience often leads to lingering struggles, repeated battles, spiritual distractions. God isn't asking for perfection, but He is calling for complete surrender. In the next whisper, there's a surprising detail. Balaam, who practiced divination, was also put to death. Now he was known. He had influence, recognition, even spiritual language. But he was not aligned with God. The truth is, not everything that looks spiritual is from God. Not every opportunity is divine. Not every voice is truth. Not every open door is meant for you. Discernment matters. Sometimes, growth requires letting go of toxic influences, misleading guidance, appealing but dangerous paths. God is not just interested in what you gain. He cares about what you remove from your life. Not every gift is a blessing. Some must be cut off. The Bible also tells us that the tribe of Levi received no land, because the Lord Himself is their inheritance. Pause and reflect on that whisper. While others received land, property, and territory, Levi received God Himself, and that was considered enough. This challenges us deeply. Today, many measure blessings by money, possessions, status. But the greatest inheritance is not what God gives, but who God is. When you have God, you have guidance when confused, peace when troubled, provision when uncertain. Sometimes what looks like less is actually more, because it draws you closer to Him. When God is your inheritance, you lack nothing. Now we meet Caleb, a man who stood out, not because he was the strongest, but because he followed God wholeheartedly. And God made him a promise. The land your feet have walked on will be your inheritance forever. Caleb didn't just believe, he stayed consistent, even when others doubted. From this we are able to learn that wholehearted faith produces lasting rewards. Not quick results, not instant success, but enduring impact. Your commitment today can affect your children, your legacy, your future. Consistency with God is never wasted. Then we see an interesting story that highlights bold faith opening doors for others. Othniel steps up, takes a challenge, and wins a battle, and as a result, he marries Caleb's daughter, Aksa. This is more than a story of courage. It reveals this truth: your bravery can create opportunities beyond yourself. When you step out in faith, take responsibility, trust God in difficult moments, you don't just change your life, you open doors for relationships, favor, and unexpected blessings. Faith is never isolated. It has ripple effects. Finally, we understand from this other whisper that some battles may remain. Judah could not dislodge the Jebusites, so they continued living together. Even after victories, there were still unresolved areas, and this is where the message becomes deeply relatable. Because many people today feel discouraged when not everything changes at once, some struggles remain, some prayers seem unanswered. I hope this is teaching us that progress does not mean perfection. You can be growing and still struggling, advancing and still fighting, faithful and still unfinished. God works in stages. Don't lose heart because everything isn't perfect yet. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep growing. Today, we understand that God remembers our efforts. Partial obedience has consequences. Discernment is essential. God Himself is your greatest reward. Wholehearted faith builds legacy. Courage creates opportunities. And unfinished battles don't mean failed faith. If you are seeking God today, let this be your reminder. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to have conquered every land in your life. But you do need a willing heart, a consistent walk, and a trust that God is working, even in the unfinished places, because just like Israel, your journey is still unfolding, and God is not done with your story yet.